Hi, this is Michael Regan with the Regan Team Home Loan Group, and welcome to this week's Real Estate Roundup for March 17th, 2026. First, we're going to get to the Consumer Price Index report for February 2026, and the headline was up 0.3 month over month to 2.4%, and the core was up 0.2 month over month to 2.5%. Now, the cool thing is the annual core CPI is at its lowest level in nearly 5 years. Now, with what's going on in Iran and with oil prices specifically, that we could see increased inflation coming forward or moving forward. But nonetheless, we are seeing inflation come down. That's why we had seen mortgage rates come down until, of course, the conflict in Iran. Now into the home builder sentiment. Essentially, this polls new home builders about what they're feeling with the market. Anything above 50 is good. Anything below 50 is not so good. So current sales expectations are 42. Future sales are 49 and buyer traffic is 25. Now, this is somewhat impacted by the Northeast nasty winter that they've had, and that has impacted buyer traffic and also their overall outlook. Now, when builders don't feel really confident, they tend not to build as many homes. And that's going to be really good if you own a home because that's going to help the appreciation because when we just aren't keeping up with population growth and we're not building enough as is, if builders don't feel that great about it, they're not going to build. And so basically it helps appreciation a lot, especially moving forward, because we're just not going to have enough inventory for our increased population. So nonetheless, well, it is negative right now. We'll see what happens as we go further into the spring market. And once the conflict in Iran gets settled, as rates start to come back down, that could change drastically and very quickly. And then the pending home sales. The pending home sales were up 1.8% for the month over month, and that actually surprised expectations. The market thought it was going to be negative. Year over year, we're still down 0.8%. But nonetheless, we are seeing home sales not as strong as we'd like to see necessarily, but that's what's mainly impacted by the Northeast. Because of the really nasty weather that they've had, that has impacted sales. Because if you look at all the other regions, pending home sales are up. So it just shows there is demand out there and it's really starting to pick up. It's just that overall the numbers were not as good as they could have been because of that weather in the Northeast, because that's been a very hot area. But of the 3 out of the 4 areas of the country, it's showing an increase in pending home sales. It was just that where you saw a drop in that area in the Northeast. So nonetheless, it's just showing buyers are starting to pick up with rates having come down, especially from what they were the last couple of years. Now into what the market's doing. So we're up 17 basis points in the Fannie Mae 30-year fixed, and you'll see the chart. Red is bad for rates, green is good. So since the war started in Iran, you can see how much rates have gotten worse. We've had a nice couple days, obviously, that they've gone up. That was mainly due to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying that, he does project oil prices to kind of calm down as we move forward. And obviously that will be good for inflation because as oil prices calm down, that's going to run through the rest of the market and obviously make things cheaper overall and help with keeping inflation down. So the bond market reacted positively the past couple of days, but obviously the damage has been done in terms of rates have gotten a lot worse the last couple of weeks since that. Now, the market has been a yo-yo recently because one second you get some good news, the next second you get bad news, and rates change incredibly drastically because of that news. So it's one of those things where you look at the data and you think, okay, it's going one way, and then all of a sudden some piece of news comes out and it goes completely the opposite. So the technicals are helpful, but half the time we have no idea which way the market's going to go. And that's it for this week. And don't forget, we specialize in cash flow loans for self-employed business owners and reverse mortgages. Have a great week.